What is up, guys? Thank you so much for being here. So today I just want to talk about 10 really good gift ideas for all of your friends and family that are like gun enthusiasts. Now real quick before we get into item number 1, I just wanted to mention that I know it's very difficult to like buy gifts for people sometimes because you go and find some items that are popular for that genre, in this case gun people, and it turns out that they already have all those things or whatever. So I tried to put together a list that maybe most gun owners wouldn't own, or an item that they wouldn't mind owning more of. And obviously there's still gonna be a couple of things that you might want to double check that they might already own this thing, but for the most part that's what I tried to do with this list. Also, if you guys are interested in actually purchasing any of the items that you see, I'm gonna go ahead and put links in the description of this video down below. So all you have to do is go down and click on one of those links and it'll take you straight to where you can buy the item. And I do that as a convenience to you guys, but then I get a small percentage from Amazon at no cost to you, so it really helps out my channel. Alright, so item number 1 is a gun-specific multi-tool. That way you can keep this in your range bag or just in your garage wherever you work on things. I like to keep this in my range bag. And so it has like a sight tool for adjusting like your front sight and things like that, or other optics as well. And then you've got like a punch tool for punching out pins if you're gonna take down your rifle. And then you have hex tools that you might need, like sizes that would be common in a lot of different guns. And then you also have bits that would be common. And so you can take out one of these bits and stick it in the end. But in those links down below, I'm gonna also include a few different options because there's some really cool ones that are specific for a rifle or specific for handguns. And so for example, my stepdad, he's very into handguns, a lot more so than rifles. And so I bought him one that was specific for handguns. It even had a cool tool for taking down like your 1911. I'll just give you those options in case the person you're buying for is a little bit more into their rifle or a little bit more into their handgun. I want to mention that even though this is a list of 10 things, I did include a bonus item at the end, and so you're going to want to stick around for that one because even though it's a simple thing, it's something that can go with all of these gifts. Gift number 2 is something that probably every gun owner owns, but I'm suggesting this one because I don't think that most of them own this kind, and it's going to be what you use for cleaning your guns. Typically, every gun owner is going to have some kind of cleaning solvent and then some kind of lubricant for once they're done cleaning it with this, they wipe it off and then they lubricate their gun parts with some kind of grease or oil or whatever. But the reason I wanted to include this is because I don't think that most people will have a non-toxic version of them. Most gun owners are using one of the really common brands like CLP, which is great, but the only thing with that is it's kind of like a one-stop shop, which is nice because you just spray the one thing and it cleans it and lubricates it. But you're gonna have like better performance when you have a solvent that's specifically for cleaning and then something that's specifically for lubricating. And then also those common ones are typically the ones that have fumes and make your house smell like chemicals. I've been using these for a couple years now because they don't have those fumes and they're not toxic, so you don't even have to wear gloves. Now I personally still wear gloves just because that way I don't have to wash my hands after from like the oily texture, but it's not toxic, you don't have to worry about that, you're not gonna get a headache. And so I think most people just don't go after things like this because they don't know about it. They're not just non-toxic, but then they don't work as well. Like no, these things work really well and you get that bonus, and that's why they're not cheap, but that's why they would make a good gift because typically they might not want to buy it for themselves. I'm also putting links in the description to a pack of these little bottles because they're super helpful and they're really cheap. And what it is just a small bottle with a needle dropper, and you'll put your lubricant into this bottle and you can very accurately drop the lubricant where you need it. And it's super helpful because lots of times with lubricant, it just ends up kind of going everywhere if you put too much, and then it ends up where you don't need it and it's just kind of a mess. To kind of go along with item number 2, item number 3 is gonna be some sort of a cleaning kit because lots of times people have one brush, but it can be really nice to have a full-on kit, and they make kits specifically for handguns, certain calibers, and same thing with rifles, but they also just make bigger general kits. I'll include links to a few different kits, different price ranges, ones that are all really good that even I would like to have, but that I just don't have. But having a really nice kit can just be an enjoyable experience when you go to clean those guns, just kind of knowing that you've got all the tools necessary, even for all the little crevices and whatnot. And if you don't want to get them a full-on kit because you're going to get them something else, but you still want to get them like another small extra thing, you can just include one of these bore snakes. I believe that's what they're called. And you basically just put the skinny side through the barrel first, and then you pull it through. And lots of times I'll just use this if I'm just doing a quick cleaning, just to clean out the barrel, because obviously it gets thicker here and it cleans it out, and it has little pieces of brass like every few inches that kind of helps scrape it, and then obviously the cloth just wipes it out. And so this is just a really nice tool that I actually use all the time. Item number 4 is this mat that you see right here. And it seems like a simple thing, but it's really useful for cleaning your guns. Let me show you why I like this one specifically, because you can order any kind of gun cleaning mat on Amazon or any other website, and some of them have cool designs. They might have like a design of a specific type of firearm or whatever. I've seen a lot of those, but the problem with a lot of them is they don't have this little feature. And so I'll try and include, if I can't find this exact one, I'll try and include some other ones that have at least some form of this feature. And what this black strip is it's all like a big magnet. It comes in really handy because lots of times when you're cleaning guns or you're putting new iron sights, or you're just doing something, some kind of tinkering, you'll have these little tiny springs or little parts. If you lose them or they roll away, then you're kind of screwed, or you just panic or you're stressed because you're trying to find it and you can't find it in your garage. This part's magnetic, so you would just stick those little tiny parts and springs and pins, and it would just hold them, and it's a really strong magnet too, so they don't go anywhere. So I use it all the time because it's just nice knowing that those parts aren't going anywhere. Even if I shake the table, they're not going to roll away. Plus it's just really good to have some kind of mat, so you're not staining your table. And by the way, that mat, it's just another example of one of the items that they may have already, but they probably don't have one that has that feature. And so you could still get it for them because you would be giving them like an upgrade with a feature that they are really going to appreciate. Obviously, item number 5 are these really bright targets, and they're called splatter burst targets, and you can peel these off and stick them to like a piece of cardboard. When you shoot here, it'll show up like neon green, and you can kind of do that a bunch, and then you can even reuse it because they have all these little stickers around to be able to cover up your shots, and then that way you get a lot more out of each target. So one pack of these really lasts a long time because you don't need to bring more than like maybe 2 or 3 to the range. And then the whole point is that having that bright green that shows up after you shoot, it helps you be able to see your shots from a distance. Super useful, all kinds of different kinds, for different price ranges, so I'll include that. But yeah, if you're not sure if they have these, you can still get them for them because they might not have the specific kind that you get them. But even if they do, it's always nice to have extras. We're halfway through the list and I'm gonna try and pick up the pace, but I just wanna mention that if you're into guns yourself, or you like this kind of content, or anything that has to do with like gun reviews or backpack reviews or any kind of gear like that, I've done a lot of that on my channel, so definitely subscribe. And don't forget about the like button. It's like a super simple thing that you can do that only takes like 1 quick second, so I would really appreciate that as well. Now, item number 6 are magazines and ammo, something that all gun owners need and you can never really have enough of, because magazines, for example, eventually they wear down, but also there's just different kinds. So maybe they have a magazine for their handgun, but they want like an extended, longer one. Maybe they have a plain black one, but it would be kind of fun to have a clear one, or they have other different colors. And same thing on like rifle magazines, they come in different colors, or it's just good to have more of them. And so you can always throw 1 or 2 of those into their stocking or whatever their gift box is. Ammo obviously is ammo. The more the merrier. And I won't be able to give you guys links for either of these because 1, I just can't link to this kind of stuff. But 2, I don't know what kind of magazines your person would need. Now, item number 7 is something that I currently don't have, but I used to have one, and it's super, super useful. What it is just a reloader. I'll go ahead and put screenshots here of what they look like, and it makes it so much easier when you're trying to reload all throughout the day, when you're having a good time at the range. What happens is your thumbs and your fingers and all that gets really sore from just putting 1 round in at a time. And this just makes it really quick and comfortable and easy to reload all your magazines, because it pushes the spring down for you, and then you put the next round, and then, you know, just keep doing that. And so very, very good item to have in your range bag, or even just to use at home if you're gonna load up your mags before you go to the range. And it'll just make the range time that much more fun and efficient. Item number 8, I'm gonna have to stand up to show you guys because it's a belt. And the reason I'm suggesting this belt is because a lot of people who own guns like to carry their gun on their person as like a concealed carry. And whether you're carrying it on your side, on your front, it doesn't matter. It's good to have a good quality belt. If you don't have a good belt, it doesn't really, like, kind of sags down on your pants wherever you have that thing. So this belt is made by Blue Alpha Gear, and there's other ones that are available for a little less. But as long as you get this feature right here, I believe these are called Cobra buckles. Yeah, so a lot of different companies will have this same buckle that they use, and it's like super, super strong. It's not gonna come apart. I've had this one for a while, but you can see it's still very sturdy. It's not all floppy or anything like that. It holds its shape, and that helps hold everything up. And then I like having a belt that has this Velcro. You basically loop it through the buckle and get it to be the size that you want. And then, you know, it's just super quick every time. You don't have to find the right size with the gun. You know, okay, when I wear my gun, this belt, I like to have it here, and then you set it, and then it's good to go because you just click this in, and it's not gonna come undone if you just hit one side. You have to click on both sides, top and bottom, to undo the belt. And when I link the belt in the description, I'm gonna make sure that I link to one where the belt is 1.5 inches wide, because I found that a lot of them are 1 3/4 inches wide, and the very first one I ever bought several years ago was like that, and it wouldn't fit through most of my belt loops because only like work pants have belt loops that are that wide. And, you know, even though I do have a couple pants like that, a lot of my more fashionable clothes, I guess, you know, like my jeans, the belt loops just aren't big enough. So I'll link one that has 1.5 inch on the width, because that's what this one is, and that's what'll work in pretty much all your more common belt loops. Item number 9 is this guy right here. And what this is like a special torque wrench. Really simple, but basically it allows you to adjust how tight for the inch pounds that you're gonna tighten it, and then it won't let you tighten past that. And lots of times gun owners are gonna need something like this because they're tightening down a new scope or some kind of flashlight to their rail of their rifle. If you're gonna tighten anything down, you typically want to follow what's recommended by the manufacturer, which normally comes on a piece of paper in the instructions. People normally just tighten it down as much as they can because they don't want it to go anywhere. But the problem is you can end up damaging your really expensive optic, and you don't want to do that. And so you want to tighten it down to what the manufacturer says, but you can't do that if you don't have something like this. This makes it really easy. You just turn this bottom part until this basically goes to the inch pounds that you want to tighten it to. And then it just won't let you go past that. Like once you get to that inch pounds, it'll just click and basically won't over tighten it. So super useful tool. Let's move on to the next one. Item number 10 is a good bench block and maybe a set of punches as well. But what a bench block is, and they come in different shapes and different sizes, but it's something that allows you to kind of like punch out all the metal pins that you need to punch out from your firearm. For example, if I have this gun on here and I'm trying to punch out one of the pins, I'm not gonna be able to punch it out because it's just gonna be wanting to go into the table. But if I put this and I line up that pin that I'm trying to punch out through one of these holes, take my pin, I can punch that out and it'll just fall through the hole and it won't go anywhere, it's not gonna roll away. And this specific one also has a magnet, a lot of them do. And then the punch set is just really helpful because you have all kinds of different sizes and materials of punches. So the brass ones you have the most of because that's what's like pretty much the most useful, because brass won't typically damage your frame of your firearm because it's a softer metal. And then you also have a little hammer, which has like a rubbery side and then a brass side. You can put the punch there and then you can tap it with this, and it's definitely a must-have in your kit of tinkering gun related things. The bonus item is one of these green ammo cans, and I particularly prefer the larger ones. But the reason I said that this can go with anything is because they can use it to store their ammo, they can use it to store other things, but you can give it to them with some of those other gifts inside it and then just kind of present it as like a gift box. So then they're getting the gifts, but they're also getting an ammo can. And the reason that I recommend one of these like traditional metal green ones is because they're, in my opinion, they just look a lot cooler and they're kind of more fun to have than like the newer plastic ones. And they just work really well. You can lock them for one, but then they also have like a rubber seal along the inside. And what I do when I buy one is I just put a little bit of oil on that to kind of keep it just from getting crusty, and then it kind of lasts forever after that. But yeah, it seals really well, so it's gonna protect your ammo and keep it good for a long time. But yeah, they're just fun to have, fun to store your things in. And I think most gun owners appreciate these, and even if they have one or two, they definitely wouldn't mind having, you know, one or two more. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and got some really good ideas for gifts out of it. And with that being said, I just want to thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.